What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Wanted to do another video for you tonight. Football commentary. Do me a favor, take a moment, like button, subscribe button, criticism in the comment section, Twitter. Shutdown Safety is my username. Some Lions, some Redskins footage in the back. I had a person ask me a couple days ago if I could see an offensive and a defensive player in their prime again, who would it be? And I would love to know your guys' opinions on that, because the great thing is there's no wrong answer. I mean, it could be a player that meant a lot to you, a player you looked up to, maybe a player you had a personal connection with, or it could just be maybe a player that didn't exactly have their career end to a point where you could respect their body of work. You know, I think about players like Shaun Alexander, who just kind of abruptly ended, had an incredible run, and then within 3 years is out of the league, and you really don't have time to reflect back on what he did the same way maybe you would a player like, I don't know, Marshall Faulk. Or you have a player that maybe goes into the league, does a lot of good things, stays around, really isn't spectacular, but you don't really have that one moment where he stands out to you in a player, in my opinion, like maybe Al Harris, that I really enjoyed watching play. But, you know, he went from the Packers, where he had a couple good years. Obviously, the return in the championship game against the Seahawks stands out. But apart from that, you know, he goes to the Rams, he goes to the Dolphins. You really don't get to follow him throughout his career and watch him grow. A lot of those closing teams were just single-year deals. So, obviously, I've got the Redskins and Lions here because, quite frankly, that's where my picks come from. When we talk about offensive, obviously I'm going to go with Barry Sanders. I don't think I'll ever see a better athlete on the football field than Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders did things that, to me, defied gravity. Things that I looked at and said, wow, that's a special player. Not a special football player, not a special anything else than athlete. He was just a special human being, and it was a privilege to get to watch Barry Sanders play. And if I had to watch one more game of a player in his prime offensively, it's going to be Barry Sanders. Now, defensively, it was a bit of a toss-up for me. Obviously, with the Redskins, I could go a number of ways. They've had some great defensive players, Darrell Green being one at the top of the list, but I had to go with Shaun Taylor. Shaun Taylor, to me, was more than a football player. Shaun Taylor was an intimidating presence, and obviously there's been a lot of great safeties in the NFL that I've watched. Players like Bob Sanders, players like Ed Reed that could really make impacts in a game. But no one brought the impacts that a player like Shaun Taylor did. Probably never will again, just because the way the rules are now. The way he played football, in my opinion, was the right way, extremely hard, extremely aggressive, and made you pay. He was the epitome of a defensive football player, and obviously it was a tragedy the way Shaun Taylor was taken from us, and I don't even know if we saw him in his prime, but if there was a defensive player I could see again for just one game, I would really want to cherish watching Shaun Taylor play, and I was fortunate enough to actually see him play live. And one of really the memories that I always hold on to, not just of him, but of football. You know, I've really been fortunate enough to see a lot of great players, but Shaun Taylor, very special on my list. So I'd love to know your guys' opinions on this. I appreciate you taking time to check out this video. Real quick, if you go over to the website, myself and Neil have been working on demandsim.com, demandsim.com. We've got some very basic forums up, but you guys are more than welcome to go over there and start some discussions. We're going to start expanding the site. Also, we're going to have Danny Dugan back on from Access Football. I know some of you don't appreciate the game or the title, but he's got a very large update he's worked on. It's critical that we share this with the community and let you guys know most updated information on that game. As always, appreciate you checking this out. Back in the week with more content.